Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I'd like to talk about grief because most of my clients who come to me are experiencing some form of grief from one form or another. Sometimes my clients come to me because a long time relationship is ending and they are grieving the loss of that future that they we're going to have with that person. Sometimes clients come to me because a loved one passed away and they are grieving the loss of that loved one in their life now. Sometimes clients come to me because they're grieving the loss of what and that sounds weird, but of what they want, that they feel that they cannot achieve. Or they feel that there are obstacles in their way of achieving. And so this grief comes through as like this frustration or even self-loathing because they know where they want to get to, but it feels like they can't get there because of XYZ. And so what I want to say to you about grief, the first thing is that wherever you are, it is okay. Whether that feels like you are so deep in the deep, dark ocean that there is no light for you and you are just swimming around trying to survive, that is okay. If you can't get out of bed, if you feel like doing work is just the worst thing, where it feels like you can't think straight, there's no motivation or inspiration to work on projects, you feel a loss of words, it is okay. The big message that Spirit wants to say about grief, the first one is, it's okay where you're at. And two, you are never, ever, 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 ever a burden. You are never a burden, ever. When you are going through something so deeply, like the loss of a loved one, the loss of a future, you go through a divorce, you're not only losing that relationship and that future, but you're also losing that whole family. You're losing such a big dream, this big goal that you had worked so hard to achieve. Maybe it's that job that you lost. You've been working so hard and boom, you got cut. It's okay to be where you're at. It's okay to feel shitty. You don't have to identify with it, and it won't last forever. But just giving yourself the permission to feel this way is where it's at. That's all that Spirit asks of you, is to let yourself off the hook and to say, it's okay that I feel this way. And then the second part of that is that you're not a burden. And that means that you should never feel bad about talking about what's going on in your life and how you feel with your friends, with your family, people that you're close to, that you trust. And if those people do make you feel like a burden, like they don't have time for this, I don't want to listen to this anymore, I've heard this enough, I don't want to talk about this anymore, ugh, then they're not people in your corner. And sometimes then that will trigger grief again, because now we feel like we have one less person in our corner, and now we are grieving the loss of the support that we thought we had from that person. So it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's going to be okay. You are not going to be here forever. You are not going to feel this shitty forever. Okay? You won't. It's impossible. You can't feel this shitty forever. It feels like it. Your brain wants you to believe that this is how it's going to be forever, but it's not true. It's not. So let yourself off the hook. You are not a burden, which means don't treat yourself like a burden either. If you're hurting, then comfort your pain. Acknowledge the pain. And then do something for yourself to help soothe that pain. And that doesn't mean to go shopping or, don't move to that soft addiction, sex, drugs, alcohol, shopping, gambling, gossiping, whatever. You want to turn to yourself and show up for yourself. You acknowledge how you feel and emotionally, and you acknowledge how you're feeling in your body. Are there any sensations or pains in your body? And make that connection. How I feel here and here makes me feel here. I feel it here. I feel it here. Maybe I feel it here, this hip or that hip or a leg. And then you say, it's okay. It's okay. Wrap yourself up in a big old blanket, if you have a weighted blanket, and you give yourself that peace and you give yourself that grace to feel these human emotions and to work through this place. If you show up for yourself in this way, I promise you that this depressed feeling of grief won't last forever. It won't. Your angels want you to know that you are never alone, even right now in this moment. How bad you feel, how depressed, and how much sorrow you feel in your heart, your angels are still there. And they still love you. And sometimes that's all we need to hear, right? Is that we're not alone and we're not a burden and we are still loved by God, Source, Spirit, the universe, and our angel team. It'll be all right. Take care. And if you are feeling depressed and you are grieving something heavy, reach out for help. And if not me, a loved one or someone that you can trust. You are not a burden, and you are loved indefinitely. Blessings, everyone. Bye.